Hey everybody, Austin back again with another Let's Play video. This time we are completing our little run of Mega Man Let's Play videos with the original Mega Man game. Well, Mega Man. Nothing after that. Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, no, nothing. Just Mega Man. The good old classic. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So for those of you guys just tuning in now for the first time, basically what I did was I played through all the NES Mega Man games. However, instead of going through one by one from the beginning, like I did in my long play series a few years back, in this one, I went from part 6 and worked my way back to part 1. And so yeah, here we are at the very beginning of the awesome Mega Man series. Now, the original Mega Man does feel a tiny bit different than the other ones. The controls are a little more slippery than the other ones. And so this might actually take me a few minutes to get used to. I did not practice this game. I didn't play it at all, pretty much. Oops, that was bad. This is probably one of the more difficult parts in the first 6 Robot Masters you have to fight. And so we'll go ahead and have to do that again. But yeah, Mega Man 1 actually feels a little bit different. Like, when you press left and right, you don't start running immediately. There's like a little more delay between when you press the button and when Mega Man actually starts running. So it's almost like there's a little bit of inertia. And so like I can literally just keep tapping my way along like that. Whereas in Mega Man 2 or 3, I'd be running a couple steps if I tried that. So yeah, it's definitely going to take a little while to get used to this game. But yeah, this is a great Mega Man game. It's, you know, it's a little bit different than the other ones. It's a little more difficult than the other ones in some regards. The original Mega Man is pretty much the definition of Nintendo hard. When you hear people say a game is Nintendo hard, they usually refer to games like Mega Man. Mega Man is Nintendo hard. It's a tough little game, but it's just tough. It's not impossible. It's not that hard. Like, I think most people should be able to beat this game with a little bit of practice. And probably the hardest parts in the game, some of the hardest parts in the game anyway, are in the first 6 Robot Master levels. There are a couple of points in Wily's Castle that are really tough as well, and we'll sort of talk about those as we get to them. But for the most part, there's a handful of sections in the main Robot Master levels that are kind of tough, but with a little bit of practice, like that first conveyor belt, sort of, not conveyor belt, I don't even know what you call those things. That first section I died at is probably one of the tougher of them. So once you get that part down, the rest of the game should come a little bit easier. There's going to be some spikes down here, and yeah, I was going to go left. Whoa. You have to be really careful in this one, because... And I think this actually happened in the first Sonic the Hedgehog as well. If you get damaged, and you land on a spike, even though you're in your blinking and vulnerability phase, you will die by the spikes. And again, I believe that happens in the first Sonic the Hedgehog as well. So that is one thing that this game does that the other Mega Mans don't. In Mega Mans 2 through 6, if you got hit, and at least if you were blinking, if you landed on a spike, the spike wouldn't kill you until you stopped blinking. So this game is a little bit harsher in that regard, so you have to be careful when you're near spikes. Getting hit by an enemy does not grant you invulnerability to spikes if you land on them afterwards. So Gutsman here, you want to jump every time he lands on the ground. Whenever he shakes the ground, you sort of get knocked back like that. And then he can hit you when you're knocked back. So you basically want to just jump up and jump over his rocks that he throws at you. Not too difficult. I think he's one of the easier bosses. Well, I'd say the bosses in this game are probably... Gutsman's easy. Cutman is easy. Bombman is easy. Electman is hard. Fireman is hard. Iceman isn't too bad. So yeah, it's really 2 bosses. Fireman and Iceman are the difficult bosses, but what you want to do is just use the Robot Master weapons on the bosses if you can. So basically, I got Gutsman. I can use Gutsman's power against Cutman. I believe that's how it works. And unlike some of my other Mega Man Let's Plays, I will be using the Robot Master weapons in this playthrough. And please, those of you guys telling me, hey, it's a shame you didn't go through these Let's Plays only using the pea shooter, come on. You don't want to see me trying to beat Electman 25 times, trying to get through the game. So, it's really, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not going through these just using the pea shooter on some of these. Because some of these are legitimately difficult. Like some of the bosses I fought in Mega Man 3, I would have been at them all day with just the pea shooter, you know. And the same goes for this game. This game has a couple of bosses that are really tough. Really, really tough with just your pea shooter. So... And so Electman, I will be using Cutman on him, which Cutman is the weakness for Electman. Against Fireman, I will be using Iceman, because Iceman's the weakness on him. Iceman, I might use Electman's power-up on him. I might not. I might try to just do it with the pea shooter, because Iceman's not that difficult. But the rest of the bosses I can get through without the power-ups. But I'm going to go ahead and use Gutsman on Cutman just because I want to. Not necessarily because I have to or anything, because he's that hard. Cutman is actually one of the easier bosses, like I said. And he's usually the first guy I actually go and I play. He's the first level I try to play through, typically. Him or Bomb Man, usually. Or Gutsman. Sometimes if I'm feeling risky, I'll do Iceman first, because he's got this platforming section towards the end of his level that's pretty difficult without the I totally forgot what the beam is called, but there's this little beam. I don't know if it's like the Magna beam or something like that, but there's a beam you get that forms platforms for you all the way across the screen pretty much. And so Iceman's level can be a little tricky without that power up. But one of the reasons I did do Gutsman first was so I could get that power up in Electman stage once I went to Electman. So, got it. Now there is a little bit of a shortcut here. I don't know if it was it this right here? Yeah, you can just fall straight down without getting on the ladder. Mega Man climbs these ladders very slow, much like he does in Mega Man 2. So if you want to sort of speed things up a little bit, you can, you know, certain parts of the game you can just literally just drop down to get through the section faster. Likewise, going up, if you play it just right, there are points where you can just keep going up if you jump in the right position without even hitting the enemies. You can just bypass the enemies completely if you play it just right, which is pretty cool. So let me switch over to Gutsman. This might actually be a little bit more difficult. What I'm going to do... No, I'm going to go ahead and just do it right away. Yeah, oh man, look at that. 2 hits. I didn't know it was that damaging. So, yeah, use Gutsman against Cutman if you want to just blaze through that fight. Alright, so with Cutman out of the way, we're going to go ahead and do... let's go ahead and just get Electman out of the way, because I want to use some of these Robot Master Weapons in these levels themselves, just to have some fun, to sort of experiment a little bit more. So we'll do Cutman, or Electman next, and use Cutman's power-up on Electman. I'm going to go ahead and just switch to Cutman, which is good for these guys right here. Just like so. Now, Electman has some parts in the level that, you know... Yeah, it has some of the disappearing platform blocks that you see in pretty much every other Mega Man game. They pretty much became a tradition starting in this game. So for those of you guys that aren't too familiar with the original Mega Man, but you've played, say, Mega Man 2, some of the stuff that you see in games like Mega Man 2 actually made their start in this game. So some of the, like right here, some of the things that some people don't like in the series, like these platforms, oops, again, made their start in this game. So let's try this again. Now, if you go left, you can get some power-ups over there, but I don't really need them. So I always take the right-hand path, because this is a little bit easier. Now, you can still get on those blocks from the left-hand path, but it's a lot harder, because the hallway is barely... just large enough than Mega Man. Like that, where that power-up is right there, You really don't want to try to go for it unless you've already got the Magna Beam or whatever it's called. But if you've already got the beam, why are you even playing this level again? I mean, I think you might be able to play the levels again. I don't remember if you can or not. I want to say you can, because you have to go back and be able to get the Magna Beam. So, again, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. You can actually use Gutsman on certain parts too, like right here, which is pretty cool. Oh, got hit. Thought I was gonna bypass that, like I did the first time. So one other cool thing about this game that you don't have in the other Mega Man games is you actually have a score. Now, the score is kind of redundant in this game because of the fact that you can just literally just camp out and destroy enemies over and over again. So having a score doesn't really do a whole lot for you in this game. It's just kind of there because, you know, scores have pretty much always been there in video gaming. You know, scores started going away in certain games with NES games, really. NES and some Master System games. But just prior to that, having score in games was extremely, extremely common. And as obviously with Mega Man 2 through 6, there were no scores. It was only in the first Mega Man. So the developers probably realized, hey, you know, it's kind of redundant. Like, we don't really need to have a scoring system in our game, especially when enemies respawn and things like that. And there are some other parts in other Mega Man games where enemies will just constantly come out. They don't ever stop coming out. So that said, a scoring system is extremely redundant in that regard. So Electman does a ton of damage. That's why Electman's so tough. If Electman didn't do that much damage, I mean, he literally took just about a third of my health bar. Maybe even close to a half of my health bar. So, I mean, if Electman took off a lot less damage, it would be more realistic to go after him with just, you know, your standard Mega Buster. But he's so difficult as it is, it's just not worth doing that. Not at all. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Electman, have some fun with these weapons. Electman's got a really good power up because it goes up, down, and to the right. Or to the left, depending on which way you do it. So, I wonder if you can kill those things. Nope, can't kill them. Thought I'd try, though. Oops, that was bad. Whoa. Now this guy right here, you can't hit him when his shield is out. But interestingly, you can actually hurt him when he's jumping up in the air like that. So, it's a little odd. Like, when he's on the ground, you can't hit him. But when he's in the air, you can hit him, even though his shield is still in front of him. So, I don't know if that design choice was intentional, or they just were like, you know, we don't need to program that part in. That's just too much work. So, but no, it's actually really useful because he's a little tough to take down otherwise. So, you can try to go up top here, or take a shortcut down below. Going down below is obviously riskier, but sometimes I like to go the bottom route, just because I can. Whoa. Whoa. Be maybe an extra life here. Sometimes you can wait for him to do something like that. Wait for him to jump. Obviously, using someone like Elect Man's power works a lot better than using your pea shooter. And that's what's great about the Mega Man games, is you really don't have to just play with your pea shooter. I typically only play with my pea shooter because that's just how I've always played Mega Man games. But in this part, I'm going to show you something. You can sort of just skip through the next area just like that without taking damage if you wait and then jump down to the right, like so. See, Elect Man doesn't... Wow, that hit him twice for some reason. Interesting. Who works against Bomb Man? Not Cut Man. It goes off screen and doesn't come back. Alright, well that's it. Back to... Whoa, wrong one. I thought that was my stock power-up. That's the beam I was talking about. Oops, that was my fault. So there we go. I was just having a little bit of fun with that boss. Normally I just go in straight with my my main Mega Buster shot, but yeah, I figured I'd experiment with some of the weapons since we're doing this. So we're on our way. I'm gonna go Iceman because we want Iceman's power up to defeat Fireman. Fireman's pretty tough. I have no idea how you're supposed to avoid his attacks, and you'll see what I mean once we get to him. It's pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and do Cutman on this level. And I like the ice on this... Oops. I like the ice on this stage because you can kind of just keep going. Even when you fire. Normally when you fire, you stop. But because you're sliding, you just keep going as you fire, which is really cool. I've always liked that about this level. Of course, not when you're underwater. When you're underwater, you just kind of stop, apparently. So you're not sliding. Whoops. Taking damage, don't really care, because I'll get some health. Health will appear. So now I can just sort of keep going. Just like so. There's my health. There's gonna be some platforms down here. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the platforms because they're not too difficult. Once you learn the pattern anyway. Just like so. Now, if you're new to this game, those things can be a serious pain in the ass, so... And we're pretty much at the end of the stage already. And this is where you want to use your platform, because this part is pretty tricky without it. I'm gonna go ahead and just wait here. Ooh, that sucked. And like so. Oh, I missed it. I just realized those things kind of look like telephones. Like the old-fashioned telephones. You know, telephone, pick up the... Never mind. It doesn't really matter. This part you can kind of just, you know, just keep running and shooting. Like so. And switch over to Elect Man. I'm gonna go ahead and just kill this guy really fast. Let's see if this is the fastest Mega Man game we can get through. It should be, because it's not... it's shorter than the other Mega Man games by default. Ow. Everyone does so much damage in this game. I mean, they give you this huge life bar, but in reality, you can only take like 3 hits from some of these bosses, if that. So you gotta be really careful. And that's why a lot of people say this is the hardest Mega Man of the 6 on the NES. I wonder if the clear points are just randomized. I don't know. I'm gonna go and switch over to Elect Man again. Elect Man is great because that's why he's great. Makes life a little bit easier. And if you notice how I'm getting through some of these sections, I'm sort of using, like, here's a ladder. You can either climb up the ladder like that and take a few seconds, or you can just jump and tap up right at the top and get through it a lot faster, like so. And of course, when you're on a ladder, if you tap jump, you can just exit the ladder or jump off the ladder, which makes things go a lot faster. So when I play these Mega Man games, I like to play them like that relatively quickly. And it helps me get through these stages considerably faster. See, like so. Whoa! Oh, I got past it, but got hit by the other one. Darn. Ow. That hurt too. See, look, even these things are doing a decent chunk of damage. Now, one thing you can do is, if you want to get through those, if you have a hard time getting past that fire, you can actually use Iceman's power on them, and it'll freeze them. And when it freezes them, you can actually jump on them without taking damage. So you can actually use them as platforms. And there are actually parts of Wily's castle where you have to do that. It's mandatory. So, you know, it's a gimmick they sort of teach you, or don't really even teach you in the beginning. But if you are going through this using Iceman's power-up, you're going to find out on your own. So, and this part right here is kind of tough. So what you want to do is, if you have the Magna Beam, just use that. I don't think I've ever gotten through that one part down below without getting hit. The top one where the fire's coming out, I have gotten through it without getting hit. More often than not, you just have to have really good timing. But that bottom part where the fire's coming out, I don't even know how you're supposed to get through that without taking damage. So, but in some cases, I think that's the point. So, hey, I'll take that extra life. How many lives do I have? 3? Not doing too bad. Alright, so let's do Iceman. Look at that. Kind of dinky, but it works. Yeah, so you have no idea how you're supposed to get through that without taking damage. Because even if you manage to jump over the fire, he leaves fire on the ground as a leftover, and that hurts you. So it's like, I mean, if he had multiple platforms, which I think they probably should have done on that boss, is have multiple platforms, so you can kind of go down or jump up higher than him to avoid it. Or have him slow down the rate of attack, which would help a lot. So, alright, we got the final stretch of stages. And no map screen on this one, guys. So we're going to go ahead and switch straight to Iceman. And that reason is to freeze these big dudes to get through them a little bit easier. And these guys deal a ton of damage. So, jump high, just like so. Wait for this guy. Jump high, jump high. Good. Is there one more? One more? One more? Nope. Alright, so switch over to Gutsman. And we're going to switch back to Iceman. Oh. I messed that up, see? Messed it up again. This one I'm just going to take the damage. Oh, didn't even have to. Look at that. Very, very, very tight. So I was actually kind of lucky to get through that. No enemies here. Thought there were going to be some of those little flying dudes with little copters on their heads. Switch over to Elect Man. Bam. One hit. Just like that. Go back to our pea shooter. And looks like we're going to have to go back to Gutsman, actually. So, else have we got here? Now there's going to be some enemies. And if you really, really wanted to, you could... I'm going to use my regular shot here. It's just more useful in these dudes. You can sort of destroy them when they're far away. And this is a perfect example here, because you're going to have enemies coming at you with spikes below you. And if you get hit by them, you land on the spikes, it's instant death. Again, no invulnerability time. So this part, really, the easiest way to go about it is just like on Iceman's level. Is use your Magna Beam. I don't even remember if it's the right name or not. It's going to elude me this entire video. So this part you actually have to use the Magna Beam. So if you missed it on the Electman stage, well, you're kind of screwed. I don't think there's any way to go back. I don't know if you game over, if it takes you back to the character select screen or not. It's been a long time since I've died on in Wily's Castle. So now we're gonna fight the infamous Yellow Devil. So many people say they have so much trouble with this boss. But for one, you have to use the Electman's power up on him. Two, just like in Mega Man 3, his pattern is always the same. Just get used to his pattern and memorize it. Does he come from the right or left? So just watch out for him. He always does the exact same thing. Whoops, that was my fault. And use Electman. One of these, I think it helps to be able to... Yeah, that one it helps to just jump over both at once. Again, it's just a little bit of memorization. So you jump two at once. It's the same thing every single time. Two at once, right there. Just take your time. Jump two at once, right there. And what you probably want to do is just wait and fire your Elect Beam after he shoots his shot. Otherwise, you might get hit like I did. So wait, shoot, just like that. It's just a pattern, guys, just a pattern. So we're going to jump over two at once, like so. And he's gone. See, that would have hit me. I went in and attacked him first. Bad idea. You want to wait until he shoots, because he'll just aim wherever you are on the screen. And you can jump over it and then fire at him. So, alright, this second level is probably the most difficult. Not necessarily because of the level itself, but more so because of the boss you have to fight. And it's basically a doppelganger. And he will do any attack. Ooh, that was super close. I timed that just right. Whew. Shouldn't have survived that, but I did. I'll take it. So, the Doppelganger is a really tough boss in this game. He does a lot of damage like any other boss does. And he's really tough to avoid. Oops, I forgot about those invisible platforms. Alright, so no Gutsman. And Cutman's power does not work well on him. Electman doesn't... Whoa! Electman... That's... I didn't even know that happened. Iceman... Oh, this is really cool. Some of these don't even do anything on him. I'm just kind of experimenting right now. Remember, no E-Tanks. E-Tanks weren't even a thing in this game, so you have to be really careful. And no sliding either. I just literally tried to slide because I've been playing Mega Man 3. I've been playing Mega Man 3 on my own even. Playing through some of the levels, trying to get through some of the bosses without using special weapons. Like Gemini Man and Shadow Man. Let's try to get my health back. Hopefully they gave me some flying enemies that I can just grind. But these guys should just keep coming back. See? Oh, the power-up comes back too? Are you serious? I mean, I'm not complaining. And I don't think I have to have Electman's power-up again. Well, up until Iceman. It would be helpful to have him against Iceman. So... Oh, cool. Oh, this is really interesting. Look at that. The health keeps coming back. Wow. 20 some odd years later, and I'm still learning stuff about this game, guys. It's been really interesting to do these Let's Plays because I've been experimenting more than I normally would, and as a result, I've been learning a lot about each of these games I've been playing. Let's see if we can just... Nope, can't go back. I'm really hoping this dude just drops me some health, because that would just make life a little bit easier. I can just refill all my health at once instead of going back and forth like this, because each one of these things only gives me 2 pellets back, and that's it. So it's not a whole lot, but... And watch me go through all this and just like die on a set of spikes or something. Alright, we'll go ahead and just leave it at that, but that's cool I was able to do that. I didn't even know that was possible, so... Oh, I just used it. Oh, I thought I hit start, man. That was a waste. And who's this? Oh. Oh, great. It's you! Not who I wanted to fight right now. Got him. Sometimes you can hit him twice with Cutman if you time it just right. It basically comes out and then loops back and hits him again. So, let's grab the Magna. Power for the Magna Beams. I think we'll probably need it. Not because we have to use it later on, but just because it'll make life a little bit easier on certain parts. And actually, I might even... No, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Elect Man. Yeah, there's an extra life up there. And we want the Magna Beam for this. Extra lives are always good. Now, you don't want to fall down to the left because there's going to be spikes down below, if I recall correctly. Yeah, just like that. So, I mean, really what you could do is fall to the left and use the Magna Beam to get back, but that's just kind of a waste if you ask me. Oops. Ow, ow. You wait for all these guys to open at once and just use the Elect Man's power up on him. And I'm not going to worry about... I'm going to go back to the Magna Beam, because again I'm going to have to use it one more time. Just for fun, mostly. And to get a power up later on in the game, but not out of necessity. But Elect Man I don't even have to use for the rest of the game. I'm going to switch to Cutman. Always remember what kills enemies in one hit, because... You know, like right there I was using my pea shooter. I wouldn't have been able to kill that top guy. I think this is the boss right here, so let's switch over to our pea shot. Yeah. And this is where things get really tricky. This boss is really... tough. I'll just say tough. It's hard to describe. If you play him yourself, you'll know exactly what I mean. And I don't know if there's any rhythm or rhyme to the guy. He jumps so fast. Like, he jumps faster than you can, which is what makes him really tough. If he was just Mega Man and slow Mega Man like I am, he really wouldn't be that bad. But look at him. Look how fast he jumps across the screen. It's almost unfair. And sometimes he just comes straight at you, and that's all he does. I got lucky there, guys. I got lucky. Normally I die a couple times at him, so... He's just like, lunging at me. Like, it's not Mega Man. It's Mega Man on crack. Crack Man, the new boss for Mega Man. Alright. So we're getting close to the end. I think there's only 2 more levels. I think it's this one, and then another one, and then I think that is it, guys. So, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over to, back to Elect Man. Oops. That was bad. So this part there's going to be some water, I guess, that comes and basically speeds you up. And I would just time these shots like so, and it usually works. It's kind of interesting. I think it's going to be some bombs that come too. And you might actually be better off not shooting them. Ow. Just like so. Or you can just slow down. But you can't stop completely. So, throw out some shots. And have that be it. Now we are at the boss. So what I'm going to do is use, who do I use on here? Gutsman for one. But what I'm going to do is actually use Electman. Whoa! I did not know Electman's power-up destroy these blocks. Let's switch back to my pea shooter. Ow, that hurts me. I thought I could just like run underneath him. Apparently not. So I'm going to use Gutsman for some of these. Just like that. So I think it's easier to take the first few out because you have the platforms you can jump on. But then I use the last for the faster ones that come out. So, is this the final? Oh, this is the final stage. We're done already, guys. Look at that. Unless I die or something. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be those guys. I had a feeling they were coming out. Alright, so we're going to use Gutsman again. And we're not going to need Gutsman anymore. But yeah, I'm going to take it anyway. Take it as a freebie. I'm going to use Cutman, because we will not need Cutman anymore. I mean, he might help at actually facing Wily, but for the most part, we don't need it. And this is where you kind of want the Magnum Beam again, just because, you know, it makes life a little bit easier. You got... ah, screw it. We'll just go straight through. We'll just skip it completely. But this is where you really want the Magnum Beam, just to get past that. And getting to these as well doesn't hurt either. You know, you can just, instead of waiting for that platform to come back, just do it on your own time. And what's good about that little power-up we got, I forgot what the symbol's called, but it's in a lot of classic Capcom games. It was a very, very common item in Capcom games. And they all did different things. In their arcade games, a lot of times it would give you points, or do other things. In this game, it gives you all your power-ups back. So, yeah. And I want to say the first guy might be Iceman. Actually, it might be Gutsman. So this is where we fight some of the Robot Masters again. No, it's Bomb Man. And what works against Bomb Man? I don't think we figured that part out. It might be Fireman. Whoa. Yeah, it's Fireman. And that's that. Now it's going to be... is it going to be Gutsman? Oh, Fireman. Got him. So yeah, these guys you actually have to fight back to back, and you don't get any life back. So this is, you really want to use the Robot Master weapons on these guys. It just makes life so much easier. Now it's gonna be Gutsman. Gutsman, I don't know if I should use Bomb Man on him. Bomb Man works, but the problem is sometimes he can jump out of the way, like so. But it looks like that works. And ooh, look at that. Oops. Look at that. I'm gonna get some health back? I don't think so. Yeah, that's not health. It's weapon power that I don't need, but I might need it if I die. Because it does set me back a little bit. So this is going to be kind of tough without having any life. Actually, it might just restart me there, now that I think about it. But we'll find out. So this is the final boss, guys. Nothing after this. It's just classic Mega Man. It's basic. Very basic. Ow, that hurt. And I want to say I used a Lekman on him, but this is going to be kind of tough. I was going to say it's going to be kind of tough, and I just die before I can even do anything. Okay, cool. It does start me here. That's not too bad then. Alright, so let's try that again. Use cut, man. How many lives do I have? 4 lives. So I get 4 chances to do this. And actually, what I'm going to try to do is just use my regular shot, see how that works. Actually, my regular shot works well. It works very well, actually. Because he has very little invulnerability time. Some of the shots will go through if you fire them too fast. But for the most part, it's every shot will register, which is good. So look, 1 hit. Ooh, am I gonna get hit by that? No, I did not. That's weird, it wasn't letting me go to my options. And that's it, guys. Mega Man for the NES. That is the entire game. Let me switch my video and see how long that was. About 40 minutes. Yeah, definitely the shortest Mega Man Let's Play so far. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. Mega Man. Probably one of the earlier NES games to actually have an ending, mind you. And this was, what, 87, I think? So, it actually shows Mega Man walking along and the sky changing and whatnot. It's probably one of the earlier NES games to have an actual ending. Short ending, but it's an ending, so... But yeah, for those of you guys that stuck around for this entire Mega Man series of Let's Plays, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It's been really fun to do. Like I said in this Let's Play, I learned a lot of stuff throughout it. Had some fun, had some not fun, if that's how you say it. Mega Man 5. But for the most part, it's been great, and I hope you guys enjoyed this series. So without further ado, I will bid you guys farewell. I have no idea what else I'm going to do now that I'm done with Mega Man videos. But, yeah, whatever it is, I will see you guys soon. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you shortly. So take care, guys.